Hey everyone, Michelle here at Be Rejuvenated Studios. Welcome. I wanted to make a quick video today about manifesting and how simple it really is, and how hard we actually make it when it really isn't that hard at all. So let's just jump right into it. I wanted to just talk about a couple of things that people do often when they're manifesting. But before we get into that, one of the things I really want to say is we are manifesting all the time and we don't even know it. And that's what I wanted to get into today, as well as some of the things that we're doing when we manifest. So what I really want to bring to light, though, first is that we are always manifesting, whether we know it or not. Just like gravity, it is a law that continues all the time, every day, all day, 24 hours a day. The thoughts we think and the feelings we feel are what materialize in our world if we give it enough momentum and enough thought. And whether it's good or bad, we get what we think about. So, like for example, do you ever notice how, let's say you get into a fight with someone, whether it's your SP or a coworker, or someone on the highway, ever notice how you might be thinking, well, how did I manifest that? I don't want to fight with somebody. I don't want to have someone be upset with me. But what we don't understand is that the conversations that we have going on in our mind with people, if we are having an argument, let's say, in our minds with someone, that eventually will materialize in our world. So you have to stop and think, like, what are the conversations you're having with that person in your mind? And let's say if it's an instance with somebody, like you got into, a heated thought over someone cutting you off on the highway, for example, not that you would have talked to them beforehand in your mind, but something is going on in your mind that you're feeling very defensive about or argumentative about, and people just wind up reflecting you and how you're feeling. And I know that sounds like a tough pill to swallow, and you may be thinking, well, like, how the heck did I even manifest that? But again, it goes always right back to what are the thoughts and feelings that you're thinking and feeling in your mind, because what you continue to feel and think will gain momentum and eventually materialize in your world. So again, you need to really be mindful and conscious of what you are thinking. And it's super easy to blame the other person. We're so used to doing that, and we're so programmed to thinking that, it's something that they did or they said. But really, it's more about, like, how are we feeling about ourselves? That it's triggering us to some degree, and that's what's causing the conflict. It's not necessarily what the other person did. Which brings me to my point of how manifesting is actually very simple, and it works for good as well as bad. I know I was just using bad as an example, but the only reason I do is because so many people believe that, the bad happens so easily, because 10 times out of 10, when these things happen, they don't go looking for it consciously, so I just used that as an example, but it works for good as well too. And I don't want to get too far off my point, but even using the words good and bad, those are also judgments of, something. So again, we also have to remember that nothing is good or bad. It's just the value that you assign to it, or the importance that you assign to it, whether you feel in your mind it's good or it's bad. And that makes a huge difference in the way things materialize in your world as well. So back to my point, so manifesting is super simple, and some of the things that I want to talk about when we're manifesting, to help you understand how easy it really is the first thing that we want to do is not try to manifest something for the thing that we want, or the person that we want, or the relationship or the job. That's so important, and here's why. And here's where we complicate things. When we're trying to manifest that thing or that person or that job or whatever it is that you want, in a way, it's like saying that you don't have it yet and that essentially you're separated from it when, in fact, everything is already created and you're not separate from anything. So the thing here you want to do is you want to be already the thing that you want to be or have the thing that you want to have. You want to assume that you are already the person you want to be, or you already have the thing that you want. That's so important because think about it. It all comes down to the law of being. If you're already being or having the thing that you want, you're not looking for it. You're not wondering where is it. You're not questioning it because you already have it. So you really need to start shifting your mindset into being the thing. So for example, really quickly, let's say it's your phone or your car or the place you live in, right? You don't 24/7 think about any of those things because you already have them with you. You're not wondering where they are because you already have them. Or let's say, you're married or you're in a relationship or you're in a career. You don't think about where is it because you're already with that person or you're already in that career or that job. Now, that's the whole point. Now, you may be wondering, well, Michelle, why would I do that if I actually don't have that yet? Well, that's the whole point. Despite circumstances, you want to, in your mind, already feel that you have it or that you are it, whatever it is that you want. So, for example, you want to construct a scene in your mind. It doesn't have to be long, or you want to have a feeling about the thing that it is that you want. So, for example, let's say with a special person, you might picture in your mind you doing something together, or you might say in your mind, oh, I love that I'm in this perfect relationship with my special person. Other examples would be, let's say for a car, you picture yourself sitting in the car, or you see the keys somewhere in your home, or let's say, it is a home that you want. You picture yourself doing something in that home, maybe celebrating a holiday, or even someone congratulating you, saying, hey, Michelle, congratulations on the good news. And it can just be that. So it's important to remember not to manifest to change something or to get something, but to actually be something. Because when you are being something or you have something already, naturally it must materialize. That's just the way it goes. That is just the law of being. And so it's just so important to remind you of that. And that's really how simple it is to manifest. The second thing we do is we keep checking for it. When you're constantly checking to see where is it or why hasn't it happened, or you ask kinds of questions like that, you're in a sense thinking that you're separate from it. Because again, if you had it, you wouldn't be looking for it. So it's so important to understand that concept. The more we analyze and take score, the more it keeps us apart from the thing that we want. So we want to let go of all the questioning and just be it. When we let go of all the questioning and we just be it, then there's never ever that question to ask, like, well, am I doing it right? Did I, did I say it enough times? Did I affirm enough? Did I picture it right? Did I visualize correctly? None of those questions will come up because, again, when you're already being it, all of that goes away because you're not thinking about if you did it right because you've already done it or you already have it. And finally, one of the last things that we tend to do that we don't mean to do is we look at our circumstances. And if the circumstances are not favorable, we tend to think, oh my God, we didn't do it right. Our manifestation isn't coming. No, guys, just remember what may have happened unfavorably is old news already from an old belief or old thought that you've already thought about. So don't look at that as your end, okay? You continue to persist in the end. whatever that end result is, without any conditions. Okay, it's so important to remember that. Just think only what you want. Prune it. Don't think about the what ifs or what if it doesn't, or no questions whatsoever. Just prune it down to the only thing that you want. Okay, and just play with it. Get into the feeling of what it would feel like if you already had it or you are already being it. And that's all it really comes down to. And I got a little ahead of myself when I started to say before, what or how does manifesting work? Well, it works through our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is the only operant power, is the only cause, the only seed that causes things to materialize in our world for us to experience. There is no other thing other than our imagination. And from the time we were infants, we have been programmed to think that there are outer powers or that there is a God outside of us, when that the only thing that is true is that God is within us, and that is our own consciousness, our own wonderful human imagination, as Neville Goddard says. And that is the power that fuels everything that happens in your world, good or bad. Everything is actually within us. Our problems, our solutions, everything that we want is already within us. Our work is to just realize and accept it as an actual present fact now, whatever it is that we want, period. And our consciousness will give that to us. It doesn't judge. It doesn't see how good you were in the past or how bad you were. It just gives you what you ask for. That's it. Because what we accept and acknowledge accepts and acknowledges us. And that is, again, through our consciousness. Once we realize and become aware of it, it becomes aware of us. And in that union, this is where things begin to materialize and we begin to cross the bridge of events. And again, these things happen in ways that you couldn't even possibly imagine or put together yourself. And one of the simplest ways to do this is right before you go to sleep. And you can do this right before you go to bed at night or right after you've had a heavy meal and you feel sleepy. As long as you can just get yourself in a really quiet place and close your eyes and just begin imagining yourself in the end with the wish fulfilled and nothing more, and just feel what it feels like and picture it in your mind to the point where, again, it feels so natural that at some point you don't even have to visualize it anymore because it feels so real. You can also do this in the morning just as you're waking up because your mind is still in that state. So you're still coming out of that delta state, and this is also the best time. And it doesn't really take more than a few minutes. That's all it really takes. And this is why I say, we complicate things because we tend to think, we need to do all these processes and all of these hours worth of affirming, all kinds of things, when that's not at all how it works. So really the best thing about manifesting is that, one, it's always happening, and two, we get to decide how it finishes in the end. And if we don't like what's going on at the moment, we can change it, and all simply by changing how we think and how we feel, by shifting those states. Because that's all we really are, guys. We're shifting in and out of states. We're not even those states. We're not even those feelings or emotions. We're just shifting in and out of those states, and it's as simple as that. So the quick recap is, one, don't go looking to change something on the outside. We have to change from the inside first before we can see any change on the outside. Do it for the feeling of it, of already having it or being it. And because once you do that, the rest automatically just unfolds. Okay? And the other thing is, we don't take score, we don't analyze, and we don't look at our circumstances as the final end. We just keep persisting in the end. So I hope this video really helped you in seeing how simple it really is to manifest, and to not put so much pressure on yourself and make yourself crazy trying to think, did you do it right? When's it going to happen? All of those things. Rest assured, the manifestation is a sure thing. You just need to keep persisting in the wish fulfilled. Okay? Stay persistent. And believe me, I can be the first to tell you I'm right there with you, because I have been through times in my life too where I have done all of those things, but when it really came down to it in the end, I realized that it really is that simple. And if you want to test it first, try testing it with things that don't even matter to you, like, trying to manifest like a red balloon or a piece of chocolate or something simple that you don't care about. And once you see that, you'll get confident. Your confidence would definitely build if you want to try it with the small things, but by all means, you don't need to. Just trust in knowing that it works. It really works for everything, big and small, because honestly, it takes the same energy for anything that you would consider big or small. And remember, again, those are just labels, big or small, because nothing is actually big or small. It's just the value and importance that you give to it. So that's it for today. I'm sending you so much love. I hope this was helpful. Love you. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.